that's active. We do have a competition this Saturday, so if you love the band, come see us, come help out. We're going to be on the road again. Those are the things that we do well, and that's what my goal is, my passion is helping support every bit of Radford City Public Schools at every level to make sure that we can continue to adapt, adjust, and overcome no matter what comes our way.
And Gloria.
I have to tell you, one of the most exciting things for me in Radford City Schools is the ACE program. I just think it's fantastic because it allows opportunities for post-high school training, which some students might not be able to afford. It offers students the opportunity to complete 2 years of college without going into debt. I mean, it makes me excited. Officer Holdaway is doing a junior police academy now at the high school. And I find that very exciting because our children today are having some behavior issues, and any way that we can get across to them what law enforcement is about and how to become law-abiding citizens has got to be a plus. The renovation at McCart, of course, is a huge asset for our children and our teachers and for anyone who might be moving in here, but let's be honest, it's quality education isn't about the building. It might look pretty, but it's about the people who are in there, who are doing the job, who are reaching our kids and working with our families. And so we must make sure our teachers are supported and that they have instructional integrity in their classrooms, because we need to keep those quality teachers. I don't know, I was really surprised to learn that Bell Heath and McCart this year have 4 interns, like student teachers, 4. Normally it's been maybe 15, and that concerns me. We don't hold on to our teachers. I'm not sure how plentiful the replacements will be. Thank you.
Okay, and we have a rebuttal. Chris?
Just wanted to tag on to what Gloria is saying, because we've been to a lot of the board meetings together and partnered together in many efforts to support the schools. Thank you for mentioning the ACE program. I do sit as a vice chair at Newark Community College on the president's board of advisors. It's phenomenal to see. It builds on our Bobcat family by saying, we're going to provide you an opportunity to continue your education, but we want you to give back to the community. It is a part of that program that the Bobcats are going back and working in our areas. I've seen the pictures of the students working in the schools. It's fantastic. So please look into that. If you haven't, reach out to me. I'd love to talk to you prior, or if elected on the board, I'll be happy to discuss it with you as well. I think we both can say that we're huge proponents of that. So thank you.
Thank you. And our next question focuses again on some important pieces of our education. And the question reads, Radford City Public Schools has published a 2021 through 2026 comprehensive plan. The plans for grades K through 12 call for the promotion of equity. Please explain your position on equity. Okay, and we will start this question with Ed.
Equitable treatment and equity, it's a noble concept, and it maintains that we provide fairness to all students. We can easily agree that every student is different with diverse needs, requirements, and even motivators. I do believe that it's very important that all students are given what they need to be successful. Sometimes I have problems with the current ideas of equitable treatment, because the ideas tend to overlook the critical role when it comes to schools. The critical role that teachers play in the administration of education. Who is in a better position to identify and understand the needs of a student? Their teacher, or a bureaucratic employee of the Virginia Department of Education. Sometimes wholesale policies are based on this idea that a student's success is solely related to the physical traits and external conditions. Economic status, cultural background, skin color, and other exterior factors are used to determine this level and need for implementation of policies. I do think it's highly ineffective and inappropriate to assume that success or lack of is predetermined for groups of people outside of the actual realm of mental ability and circumstances. So yeah, we're failing in some ways in the equity department for the in-need students on a basic level. We're taking away the teacher's ability to offer and foster a caring environment that will facilitate equity. So as a board member, I'd like to see the rejection of wholesale policies in exchange for more support for our teachers to establish the end result of equity.
Thank you. James?
We hear the term equity a lot, and we hear the term equal a lot. But equity means that each of our students gets what they need when they need it in a way that they can apply it. I may need a box that's 6 feet tall to be able to reach a top shelf. And another child may only need a box that's 2 feet tall because they're much taller than I am and they can reach it. But if you give us both the same box, that's equal, but it's not equity because I still can't reach the top. Yes, our teachers are very core members of applying equity within our schools and knowing what their students' needs are, knowing the environments their students come from, and how can we help. As an aside, I worked in a junior high school 1 year, and the social studies teacher assigned students to watch a movie the night at home. The next morning, one of my students came into her classroom and he had not done the assignment. And she came to me and she said, "What am I going to do? I had to give him a 0. I said, "You talked to him?" "No." "Go back and talk to him." She found out there was no TV in the home. The child could not complete the assignment. So we as administrators, teachers, and caregivers within our community need to be aware of what it is we are asking of our students and how we are helping them to be able to achieve those goals.
Gloria?
Well, first of all, I want you to consider an important fact. 80 to 85% of brain development occurs by age 3. That said, parents are in fact the first and most important teachers. So when children enter our classrooms, each one is in a different developmental place. And the RCPS motto is excellence in education, every student, every day. I've always supported that. Each student has different needs, different areas of weakness or strength. Equity by definition seems to mean equal outcomes. Will students all have the same successes? That's unrealistic. But each one should find his or her own success with support from families, the students themselves, and the teachers. Responsibility and accountability are integral parts of that. I used to use a Band-Aid analogy with my second graders back before equity was a buzzword. I did this object lesson, and I would bring a student forward, and we would pretend the child had a boo-boo, and I would put a Band-Aid on it. And so then I would look to the rest of the group and say, "Does anybody else need a Band-Aid?" And they would laugh or say, "No, we don't have a boo-boo." But then a discussion ensued that was really an equity lesson because we don't all need a Band-Aid in every situation. Some might need a Band-Aid more than others. Our needs were different. And sometimes Mrs. Boyd might have to give different time to different students. parents, teachers, administrators, we have to work together to make sure all our students are learning, and we must meet them where they are and try to help each one achieve their own potential, all in a safe, respectful, peaceful school community.
And Chris?
This particular question is one that I am excited about tonight. Equity, in my opinion, has become a social political buzzword used in order to get attention, in order to garner the opportunity to achieve a goal. A predetermined goal that unfortunately in many cases does not have the best interest of the student, the teacher, or the parents in mind. It's unfortunate, it should be shameful. As a school board member, it would be immoral and unjust for me to consider anything under the premise of equity, meaning an equal outcome to the result of effort. It would be my responsibility, my goal, and my mission to consider things for equal opportunity, meaning everyone has a chance at a starting point. You have the tools necessary to achieve the best of your capacity and your desire, but I am not guaranteeing you by any means an outcome. The effort you put into it, and I 100% believe that there is not a teacher in Radford City Public Schools, there's not a parent who lives in this town who would not stand by their student and give them whatever they need by any resources available. And it's my role and responsibility to make sure they understand the resources available and provide them what they can to achieve the goal to the maximum of their potential. It does not mean that everyone can be first in a race. It means that you have the chance, you have the facility, and you have the support by me, the parent, by me, the school board member, and by me, the business person in town, to make sure that you can do the best you can do. Because that's what our Bobcat family does. We are the best at what we are every time, and everywhere we go. And I will make sure that you have the resources available. I will not guarantee you the outcome of that.
Thank you all. Our next question is lengthy, so feel free to ask me to repeat it. It's a good question though, but it is lengthy. Okay. Radford parents recently received a letter from the superintendent, Robert Graham. He expressed his concern about student behavior at all grade levels in all RC